Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Thursday, October 24th, 10 p.m. Mountain Time, 2019. The GFS models are in, and there is snow falling in Texas in October. Yeah, 6 to 8 inches in some areas. And then the areas that just got snow today will see a second system move through the Rockies. And take a look at the totals up in Canada as we move into the first week of November. Heads up. Keep calm. It's boom time. Colorado daily snow. Snow ends today. Next storm Saturday into Wednesday. Take a look at some of the totals here. 10 inches at Breck. 19 in Genesee, west of Denver. Hello. Aspen Mountain 7, Winter Park 8, Rocky Mountain National Park 8. Let's take a look at some of the sticks. Here's 10 inches at Eldora. Looks like Breck picked up a foot. And there's the lingering snow this morning. And that is moving south and it's going to bring that snow to Texas tonight. Heads up, Texas. PG&E imposes new power shutoffs in parts of Northern California to avert the wildfires. This morning there were over 200,000 without power. Now the number is down to 47,000. With Texas coming in at 18,000 and another moderate outage. Snow is piling up at Showdown, more than 16 inches in the last 24 hours. This is in Montana. Heads up! Looking deep, looking wintry. Colorado snow totals for the 23rd and the 24th. We went over a few of them. Aguilar, 12 inches. Take a look at that. 14 inches in Aspen Springs, 10.5 in Aspen Park. 14 inches in Bergen Park. Bundle up, snow is heading to New Mexico. She looks excited or pissed or something. And Kelly, you have to watch the forecast to find out. More snow is on the way next week. This is for Kilo Land in South Dakota. It's a new week, Minnesota weather. Here's what to expect in Minnesota over the course of the next 7 days. That's cold. Twin Cities, the National Weather Service, there's a strong signal in the forecast model that the majority of next week, including Halloween, will be colder than normal. With that, there will come the chance of snow. Historic first freezes for the Twin Cities. The average is 10-11. Earliest freeze, 9-3. Latest freeze, 11-18. I don't know why I was saying that. But look how cold the country's going to be for Halloween. Hello. Everybody but Florida. October snow for Texas. We just showed you the models. A tricky forecast coming up for the panhandles. October snow or not. It's usually an interesting forecast. Accumulating snow in the month of October has only occurred 7 times since 1950. Hello. And it's looking like these records will be crushed according to the GFS model. Impacts for wintry weather. Boise City, Wheeler, Pampa. Hello. Expected snowfall. Just a dusting. Except in Pampa where they could get 3 to 4 inches. Amarillo, 2 to 3. Hereford, 2 to 3. Heads up, Texas. You are the nexus of the schmexus. Now, what are the odds of snow for Halloween? There's your historical probability map of the white Halloween. Come check it out. All links are below. Winter's forecast offers bleak outlook for flood risk in Nebraska. They can kiss my basket. Here I am. There's little good news for the winter forecast in Nebraska. The odds favor wetter than normal winter in the upper Missouri River watershed. And weather experts are advising people to brace for the likelihood of additional flooding by next spring. We had record flooding. So, the setup is bleak as far as I'm concerned, said Kevin Lowe, a hydrologist with the National Weather Service who specializes in the Missouri River watershed. The problem, he said, is that the Missouri River Basin is already primed for spring flooding. Hello. And we got a long way to go, folks. But why is all this record flooding? Well, the missing link between exploding stars, clouds, and climate on Earth. A breakthrough in understanding on how cosmic rays can influence Earth's cloud cover, flooding, and rain and thereby climate. This is coming from the Technical University of Denmark and is the work of Heinrich Svensmark. Check it out if you want to be educated. Solar activity has a direct impact on Earth's cloud cover through cosmic ray cloud nucleation. And a team of scientists from the National Space Institute at the Technical University of Denmark and the Rock Institute of Physics at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem have linked large solar eruptions to changes in Earth's cloud cover. Yes, very controversial. Cosmic rays are increasing for the 4th year in a row, which means flooding will be increasing for the 4th year in a row. Yep, there's been a 13% increase in X-rays and gamma rays over Central California, where students have launched hundreds of cosmic ray balloons, littering the planet with garbage. All 50 states could fall below freezing by Halloween. Unprecedented. It's amazing to think we're still only in October. Last year, it wasn't freezing in all states, but there was snow in all states almost. Imagine that. So it's going to be a chilly one. Chilly one. A chilly fall, maybe a chilly winter, chillier winter. Currently, we're looking at the total snow mass for the Northern Hemisphere, excluding the mountains, and we are at twice. Yes, twice 400 gigatons, when at this time, normally, on average, we only have 200 gigatons of snow. Double the amount of snow mass in the Northern Hemisphere currently. And it's happening 3 weeks earlier than normal. More snow earlier. Double the snow on average. Those are the facts. And there's your GFS model. The snow moving into the Rocky Mountain front will begin Saturday, into your Sunday, and then into Monday. Here's your Tuesday, Lose Day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, your fun day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week. Looking bleak if you're up in Canada. And there's a little bit of snow moving into the UK, and then next week we'll see heavy snow move into the Alps, probably causing some early avalanches. And there's even some snow showing up here in Denmark, Heinrich Butenhuis. That's an early snow for Denmark. Did I tell you how cold it was going to be? Did I? Hey, if you want to read a good story about how to survive in a blizzard, a Logan man survives his worst night after being caught in a blizzard in Swan Flats. You got to read it. It went from clear to white out, and he didn't have anything with him except a few survival implements and a pack of Skittles. But he made it back alive. Seismic update. No quakes of note. We're waiting on it. Space weather has shifted. And we have gone into geomagnetic instability over the last 16 hours. Not up into storm range yet, but that's because of this large coronal hole, which is now coupled with us. And it appears as there's another coronal hole. And this is going to be a continuing event, probably for several days. So keep your eye on the charts, specifically the KP. You can see here that when the BZ shifted here, the phi angle shifted as well, and there was a little density spike here. That density spike drove the plasma speed up and away. It's now calming down, but we could see another spike in density, and then it will push this plasma speed back up and probably bring us into geomagnetic storm at KP5. So keep a close eye on the telemetry, because this yellow may turn red. Now, worldwide volcano news update. Klucheskov is back on the program with multiple blasts, 18,000 to 20,000 feet in the last few days. You can see here the plume moving north, clearly on the satellite. We also have Ducono, Reventador, Nevados de Chillán, and many other volcanoes, including Etna, Pavlov, and Sakurajima. Check it out. Nothing significant. Chile protest Presidential apology fails to quell anger as death toll rises to 18. That's probably at 36 by now, from the looks of this picture. Global unrest much? NASA data shows tiny 3-foot asteroid will not hit Earth. That baby will burn up way before it gets to the surface. So this is just a waste of international business times. Climate change has finally caught up to this Alaska village. Wow. Climate is always changing. And it's not your fault. But it is these people's fault for building on permafrost that melts every 100 years. How do I know this? Well, I'm just making it up. Oh, no, I'm using data. Imagine that. The climate of Alaska. Let's come check it out. Let's check out the data. The highest and lowest recorded temperatures in Alaska are both in the interior. Did you know that? The highest was 100 back in 1915. Yeah. And that would be the highest temperature occurring right here at the solar minimum of cycle 14, one of the lowest cycles in a long time. So at solar minimum 14, it was the hottest. And now here we are at solar minimum of 24, and it's melting. Hottest ever, and now it's melting again. Both solar minimums after very weak cycles. Correlation is not causation. I'm well aware. But fear-mongering is fear-mongering, and that's what this is. The climate always changes. If you were back here in 1915, it would look the same. Except there would be no houses here because people knew not to build there. But it froze up in the last 50 years. Idiots put houses here, and then it warmed up again. Because of natural climate variability. Not your fault. Alaska's fault. Well, and the sun. Let's talk about magnetic reversals and glaciation, shall we? The Gothenburg, the Mono Lake, the Lake Mungo, the Lechamp, the Vostok, all 12,000 years apart, all associated. Oh, what is this? Here, more nonsense. The people of ice and snow are never, ever going to make it. Okay, so let's get back to where we were. Magnetic reversals. That's not what we want. Man, this is out of order. Okay, we'll come to it. An abrupt climate change scenario and its implications for United States national security, October 2003, by Peter Schwartz and Doug Randall. Someone sent me this PDF, and you need to read it because it begins talking about global warming. But after global warming is over, guess what happens? An abrupt drop called global cooling. And in 2003, this top secret, now declassified document knew about it. In fact, the research suggests that once temperature rise above some threshold, now, adverse weather conditions could develop relatively abruptly, with persistent changes in the atmospheric circulation causing drops in some regions to 5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit in a single decade. Paleoclimatic evidence suggests that altered climatic patterns could last for as much as 1 century, as they did when the ocean conveyor collapsed in 8,200 years ago. Or at the extreme could last as long as 1,000 years, as they did during the Younger Dryas. Or we could be entering the major glacial phase of the Great Year, in which case we got 13,000 years of ice. Hello! Here, the very long paper, but very pertinent. It discusses how it falls apart. Food shortages due to decreases in global agricultural production happening right now. Decreased availability and quality of fresh water in key regions due to shifted precipitation patterns happening right now. Disrupted access to energy supplies due to extensive sea ice and storminess happening soon to a solar flare near you in a frozen Arctic. Excellent PDF. I will link it below. An abrupt climate change scenario and its implications for national security. Hopefully we'll get to this. The only medicine a human being needs is being grown by Greg Allison. Turmeric. You can grow it too if you live in zone 8 or higher or if you have a greenhouse, turmeric is a root plant. The aerial portion is about 2 to 3 feet high, and get up to 4 feet high. Similar to a horseradish or other root, you then harvest the root, the subaerial part, the underground stuff. And it's good for you. There are over 10,000 abstracts on PubMed about the benefits of curcumin, which is the active ingredient in turmeric that makes you well. And they show that turmeric curcumin has beneficial effects on everything, from the stem cells that give rise to malignancies to improving cognitive function in people and lab animals. Turmeric curcumin reduces inflammation, supports cellular metabolism, supports people with neurodegenerative illness, and even improves athletic performance. As the Hawaiian elder once said, turmeric is truly a gift to humanity. Thank you, gods. Thank you for turmeric. Hemp is the new oak. America's first hemp wood factory is being built. And I need a hemp floor so I can smoke it. No, you can't smoke hemp. Well, you can, but you can also smoke newspaper. But I digress. Hemp wood is 20% harder than oak, grows 100 times faster, and is just hemp. Who wouldn't want it? I wonder if it's half as much. Ancient Earth's weakened magnetic field may have driven mass extinctions. We're back to the topic. I know you've been waiting. When our planet's magnetosphere nearly disappeared 565 million years ago, it may have almost taken all of life with it. But it didn't. Then the Cambrian explosion happened. CO2 was at 7,000 parts per million. And then, boom! Life everywhere. Like swimwear. Hemp is the new oak. So let's get back to the mass extinction idea. Earth's weakened magnetic field may have driven mass extinction. Is there any evidence? My God, a paper just came out? Holy crap. Oxygen escape from the Earth during geomagnetic reversals. Implications to mass extinction. Now, we shared this about a year ago when it came out, but we're sharing it again because many of you just got here. Geomagnetic field reversal substantially weakens the protection for the atmosphere. Solar wind energizes more oxygen ions to escape when geomagnetic field is weakened. That means, and if you look at the geologic history of sea levels, our oceans have dropped 1,000 feet. We used to have a lot more water on this planet. Every time a geomagnetic reversal occurs, solar wind rips some of that water right off in the form of stripping the oxygen. Oxygen escape may explain the drop in atmospheric levels during mass extinctions. The crustal relation between reversals and mass extinctions should be many to one. And the simulated oxygen escape rate based on knowledge of Mars supports the hypothesis, which means that Mars got flipped so many times or hit that it all got stripped. I love saying stripped. I don't know why. More proof that magnetic reversals cause extinctions. A new study published just last month ties magnetic reversals to mass extinctions. And we just showed that paper with you. I just wanted to show you Robert Felix's site. The role of geomagnetic field intensity in late quaternary evolution of humans and large mammals. It also causes evolution. If you have extinction, you have evolution. They're happening at the same time. All species die, new species formed. Species can't live in the environment, new ones emerge that can. It's been happening forever. Hundreds of millions of years. And magnetic reversal has been happening every 12,000 years, pretty much, or less, all the time. And they're directly linked. The polarity is directly linked to climate. Look at this. Cold warm, 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 polarity shift, cold warm. You get the picture. Do you get the picture? One other thing. CO2 does not cause global warming. Global warming causes CO2 to rise. It's called the lag time, the lag effect. CO2 follows temperature. The green graph is carbon dioxide concentration in our atmosphere in parts per million. The blue line is the temperature, when you can clearly see a massive 8 to 10,000 year lag between the rise in temperature and then the rise in CO2 right behind it. As the Earth warms, so do the oceans. They take a while, and as the oceans take a while to warm, they outgas the CO2, which is why when you look at the CO2 warmest CO2 graph, it just keeps going up and up and up and up. Not because of you, because the oceans are slowly warming and outgassing CO2 at a very constant rate, up and up and up. And at some point, we're going to be cooling globally. We've been cooling for 3 years. But it'll take a while for the oceans to start cooling, decades, and then the CO2 will drop. That's how it works. Not your fault. Here's 400,000 years more proof from the Antarctic ice core. Hello. Your anus opens and closes every day. Now, I know that. Everybody knows it. And it's to let out hot wind, according to scientists. Yeah. That's really a paper. But unlike Earth, Uranus is very unique. It seems to have magnetic reconnections to the sun every 17 hours, or polar reversals, flipping. And as it's flipping, at that moment it flips, just like the paper we read, a little bit of the solar wind strips some hot wind out, right out of Uranus. Comes right out of Uranus during that flip. Magnetic reconnection, Uranus is hot wind. It's the best way I can describe it. Now, in a few hours, I'm going to put up a podcast with the Best Damn Podcast. We did a podcast with the Best Damn Podcast, which is a lot of podcasts. We did it last night, and it's over an hour, and it is amazing. If you're part of the truth movement, if you watch this channel, you call yourself a truther and you miss this, you can't handle the truth. So check it out, the Best Damn podcast in a few hours. And we're headed to St. Cowie in the morning. Leah and I, Alien Allen, taking one ride. And Rex Bear and his crew are taking another. We're all going to be down there. We're going to be walking the path of the Tewa people. We are going to be documenting the petroglyphs here like never before. There are thousands of glyphs here. Massive ones. Stay tuned. We're going to be out there for 3 days. So we might not be uploading shows, but we'll probably try. Hope you got something out of the video. Time to pack. Well, it's always time to pack. Well, we're packing suitcases now. So, share this with like-minded people. Thank you to all of our one-time donors, our Patreons. We love you. Without you, I'm not doing it. Get involved. Start growing food indoors. If you don't know how to do it and you're scared, start sprouting. That way you learn how seeds grow, and then you can eat them. Be safe. We love you.